I think most of the people that I know, they end up usually going into the line that they are not really interested in. It's only later in their work that they realize, okay, we want to do something completely different. And then you
Ah,
have to go. That's interesting. So, I come from the background of psychology, and English
wow.
was my
Yeah.
minor subject. So, well, thank you. So, right. So, welcome to the session. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I am doing well. How are you doing?
I'm also doing good. Anything special about your day?
Not the topic of today itself is special,
Oh,
and
well, okay.
everything else is like very relatable. So yeah, that's it.
Very relatable. What do you mean by that?
The thing is, I'm currently in a phase where I'm doing a job, and with my friends, I was discussing all the things which were mentioned in the topic of today. Before
Oh,
this class, I just glanced at the topic. So
mm-hmm.
many things like stock market and investment,
Oh,
all those things where we were discussing in our daily conversation. So yeah,
ah.
that's,
Oh, wow. You have nice friends if that is what you guys were discussing. That seems like a fun conversation. So,
yeah, that's
that's it.
yeah, that's very common actually among boys.
Is there? I don't.
No,
Maybe.
sometimes
Yeah.
people also do it for the sake of show off and all.
Yeah. That also happens. Yeah. But other times, I think people are just trying to talk about fun stuff. They don't want to talk about anything that's remotely um, related to education, whether financial or academic.
Yes.
So that's also there. Oh, but fair enough. But okay, what about you? The topic was retirement plans, right? So, okay, let's start with this. Do you even wish to retire someday?
Uh, Never ever thought about it, but
Okay.
uh, personally, I would never want to retire. I want to be working on
Why?
something till my last breath, but it it should be something I am passionate about.
That makes sense,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, if you know about like Sandeep Maheshwari,
Oh, yeah, that guy, my God. But yes,
yeah,
I'm not a fan of Sandeep
yeah,
Maheshwari
okay,
because,
then
well,
yeah, then it's not
I
a
have
common
valid
topic.
reasons. I have valid reasons for not liking that person. Like not liking in terms of I don't agree with a lot of stuff he says and the way he says it. But yeah, other than that, I do think that he's a very good orator or a very good speaker because the way he tries to speak, I think that in itself is very inspiring. So I think you have to be very skilled to engage such a big crowd into believing into what you are saying. So I think that is like a huge skill that Sandeep Maheshwari has. So that is always appreciated. But I just don't like the way he talks about motivation because motivation sadly does not work the way he says it does. So
Yeah,
that's there.
yeah,
Like theoretically speaking. So that's there. But yeah, other than that, I think the way he works, that's in itself, that is very inspiring. So that's there. I can understand why people would want to follow him. So, but yeah, what example were you giving related to Sandeep Maheshwari?
uh, like I like the way initially he struggled and how he succeeded
Hmm.
in his life, and right now he is managing
Hmm.
uh, his company as well as he is motivating so many people,
Hmm. Yeah,
and also in a way like he's showing paths to many youngsters
so many
and
people.
people of all age. So
Hmm.
even in my life, I want to do something like that where on one end I want to be like helping people, and in the other end uh, working on something for me myself financially.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. Because that's very understandable. I think at some point of life, finances become a secondary part. Like in the initial phase of life in which I think you and I are at this time, I think finances are super important. because you're
Yes,
trying to build wealth for your future. But I think after you're 50, 55, and most of your responsibilities are done with, you're not that worried about life anymore. After that, I think what matters is that what kind of work you are doing more than the money. So, because money
exactly,
you have earned enough by that point, I think, if you have done things correctly in a certain pattern.
exactly.
So, that's also there. But yeah. But what do you wish to make a career in? Like, what do you think your career would be in? In what field? In what sector? Sorry.
I think my passion lies in the teaching sector, but currently I am a software engineer.
Mhm. Oh, wow, that's very different. How come?
Uh, I accidentally like started teaching on YouTube, and that channel went viral in my college as well as almost many colleges. So that's how I realized that
Mm-hmm.
have good teaching skills.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
Apart from that, I want to, yeah, I like coding because what I have seen is coders are really smart. They are always into tech. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
be like constantly opening my mind for the new things.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Fair enough. Yeah, I think, I mean, you can have multiple choices of work, right? I mean, you can try to blend it in, you can try to see what things relate to which, and you can have like a multi-mode business or a multi-mode of work. So, a lot of people do that, I think. A lot of people do that where they make multiple sources of income or multiple sources of work, like different channels within one sector that they are diverted towards or um, diving towards. So, that's also there. Makes sense, fair enough. So, do you wish to teach software engineering related stuff only, or you wish to teach something completely different?
Actually, I am teaching something like different. I never thought
Hmm.
to do software engineering. The,
Oh,
yeah.
then how come you like came to this
Uh,
field?
the thing is, I'm a computer science engineer, and I taught engineering subjects,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and yeah, then I got a job in software development, and yeah,
Hmm.
I'm figuring out life. I'm in very early stage of my job, and
Yeah, that makes sense. Fair enough. We are all doing that, I think, somewhere or the other. I think most of the people that I know, they end up usually going into the line that they are not really interested in. It's only later in their work that they realize, okay, we want to do something completely different. And then you have to do a little bit of a gamble and leave one stable thing and
yeah,
move towards your passion.
need to
So,
balance something.
yeah. So I think that's a gamble. But I don't know. I didn't. I think that at a young age, it's very okay to take such risks because not a lot of people are
Exactly,
dependent on you. You are on
exactly,
your own. You can try to take as many risks as you want to. And even if something goes wrong, you would be the only one who has to take the burden of it. So no guilt. So you can actually deal with it and try to move on. So that's there.
exactly.
But yeah, I think it's a problem when people have to take risks at like 40, 45, when your physical health is drowning, you have a family dependent on you, and all that kind of stuff. So at
Yes,
that time, I think it's more risky. But people do that. In software engineering, I think a lot of people quit at that age. So
yeah. They will
I
like
don't know.
make enough earning at one point, and then they quit.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think the job is very taxing. Like it's very tiring. And
Very
at
very
some point it
challenging.
gets
Yeah,
repetitive. Yeah. So
yeah.
challenging in what terms? Like, how has it been challenging to you personally?
The thing is,
Sorry.
technology is constantly evolving, and
Hmm.
every moment there is some new update, software, all those things. And what you already studied goes outdated very fast.
Mm. Yeah, understandable. That too makes perfect sense to me. Fair enough. So I think you have to upgrade yourself every 6 months to stay up to date in the field.
Yeah, that's true. So, what did you think about your retirement, and what job do you see yourself?
Uh, That's interesting. So, I come from the background of psychology, and English
Wow.
was my
Yeah.
minor subject. Well, thank you. So, English is my minor subject. I'm very inclined towards literature. So, I think my retirement plans are super chill. I don't wish to work for like a very old age or something. I think after some point, I would want to quit the job. I would continue to maybe deliver certain lectures, have certain of my own institute where I talk about literature and everything. Maybe I teach literature at that point. Something of that sort, something that's more fun, maybe like having a book club or a poetry club, organizing poetry theme events and stuff like that. I think I would be more inclined towards chill, artistic, and aesthetic things like that. So that's there. I think I'll earn enough for myself by 50, 55, or 60 at max. So that's there.
Do you
After
want to
that, I
travel
would
the
take
world as
retirement.
well?
Uh, like world, no. I The idea is very tempting, but I also feel like that I'm not the kind of a person who is crazy about seeing new places or anything like that. I do love traveling, but I don't wish to explore all the time. That's not somebody who I am. But I would love to visit like certain landmark places, right? So certain European countries, certain European monuments that are super famous. Those kind of places I do wish to visit and have an experience at least. Uh, but yeah, travel the world is never on my list. There are some specific places I wish to travel, but not like not every place. I don't want to explore too much. I'm not that big of an
That's
explorer.
a very
What about you?
valid
Are you?
point actually. No, initially I was thinking to travel the world, but after listening to you, yeah, it made some sense.
That's okay. Well, I didn't mean to like make you sad about it, but no, it's just I think it practically just didn't make sense to me. I mean, I relate to you. At some point, even I was like this that I want to travel the world and everything. But I think growing up, I've realized that exploring everything sometimes it's not possible, and sometimes that's not the aim of your life. Not everybody wishes
Exactly,
to be a full
exactly.
time traveler.
Sometimes it's not required
So,
because of the societal things. We tell ourselves that we want to travel.
yeah. We want to travel the world, but now I don't wish to travel the world at all, because when it comes to traveling, traveling in itself is a very tiring experience also. So I have friends who are like, I have a friend, particular friend who works with National Geographic. So he travels a
Wow.
lot, he barely stays at home. Okay, so I do ask him, he's like, my life is very adventurous, I always wanted it, but it is tiring. You still have to work a lot, you have to like see places that you don't wish to. So I feel like after listening to all that and seeing my interests, I've realized I'm not that big of a traveler. I like to travel to specific places where all sorts of, I think, what do you call it? All sorts of facilities are available basically. Because I was born and brought up in a city, so I'm very used to having all facilities. So I am not the person who likes to stay between the nature all the time. I like materialistic things. So that's it. So yeah.
No, that's completely valid. And if you are convinced with it, even
Yeah.
right now I might be telling that I want to travel the world. But when I first got my job, I had to go to Bangalore, and there itself I didn't adjust in PG all those
It
things,
happens.
and again returned to my hometown and found a job here again
But
from
I
scratch. And
understand you. But Bangalore is not easy to adjust, man, because I was there. And I was there only for 15 days, okay? And I was not going there for study or anything. I had some work for 15 days. I had to return back to Delhi. Even 15 days, I realized I'm not made for this city. The only
exactly,
good thing about Bangalore is the weather. That's it.
it
Apart
rains
from
there.
the weather, nothing is great.
Yeah,
So
when I
that's
went,
there.
even weather was not
But
good.
yeah. Oh, why? What season did you go in? Was it raining at that time? Too much.
Yeah, I think it was constantly raining, and I had to walk 3 kilometers for my office, and all the autos, all those things costed
Kilometers.
like 100 rupees
Oh,
minimum.
it's expensive. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Autos are expensive there. cabs are the worst. Okay, I went there as like a tourist. Okay, and very outrightly it's visible that I am a tourist. Okay, so when they see it's a tourist, they ask a higher price. So I think to me,
Yeah.
and one thing about Bangalore is so funny. When you travel to Bangalore, nobody tells you that the Bangalore airport is actually outside of Bangalore. And from the airport to enter the main city, it takes about 2 hours. And sometimes my flight is 1.5 hour. Okay. And the time from the airport to the main city is 2 hours. And it's hilarious to me. Because I always feel like the time for travel from Delhi to Bangalore is not that much, but airport to main city is too long. So that's
It's
another
so
funny thing.
disconnected.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's very remotely placed. Like around the airport, there's nothing there. So
Also
that's
very
also very,
expensive, right? There, everything is
yeah.
expensive.
Bangalore is very expensive.
Where
Like
are you
I
from,
grew up
basically?
in I grew up in Delhi only.
Okay.
So Delhi is expensive little bit, but Delhi has certain cheap areas, certain posh areas. So according to your wealth, you can decide where you wish to live around and how much do you want to spend. In Delhi, you find everything. Bangalore, everything was expensive. So I was very like, I am a middle class person and I didn't have much money on my hand. So I was like, whatever I'm earning from this project, everything will be gone here. I will save nothing in Bangalore. So that's enough. Accommodation is also very expensive. I don't know if you
Super
experienced it,
expensive.
but it's
Yeah,
really
I
expensive,
had a
no?
very negative experience. My
Yeah.
friend who works in the same job went in and
Huh.
stood in one place where the price was less expensive.
Huh.
And where I
Okay.
was, there normal idli costed 100 rupees.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
for me, it was a
wow.
horrible experience. For him, it was like okay experience.
Man,
Even
idli for
Bangalore, there
100
are
rupees is a
places.
little too.
Yeah, in Bangalore also there are places where you get things, but as a tourist you won't realize so soon. And my sister
Huh.
stayed
Yeah,
there
exactly.
for 3 years.
Oh. Oh, how was her experience in comparison to yours?
Yeah, she had a great experience. Like she married and went to them.
Oh, okay. Well, makes sense. So at least there was somebody else with her.
Exactly. Yeah,
I think alone it's a bad experience because you're homesick and you're like, I want to
exactly.
go back to my mummy. So that's
No option.
another thing that happens. Uh, but yeah, it happens. Bangalore is expensive for sure. I think the accommodation part is very expensive. I wanted to stay somewhere for 15 days only, and I think the PG was asking me a lot of money. PG by like mind it, it was a PG, not even an apartment. I was not getting a full room. One bed costed a lot of money, and
Yeah.
that was the day I decided I will never live in Bangalore. I will live anywhere else but Bangalore. This is too expensive. I think in Bangalore, software people also only survive if they have like a salary of at least 60 to 70,000 per month. You need that
Yeah.
much in Bangalore.
And I didn't have that much, so I suffered badly.
Totally understandable. Even I did. So it was very problematic. So I think that's where it gets tough. Or like if you have like an ancestral home or something, then you can still adjust because you don't have to pay for the accommodation at least. So
Yeah.
that's there. Also, Bangalore is also very crowded. Nobody tells you this, but you feel like, oh, it's going to be great. But then you enter and it's like a full on bus city and every place is crowded and the traffic is so bad.